Hey, RetconRaider here, with special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Revenant, Alois, Anerdinwarpaint, Dragon Matrix 7, Eerie V23, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, Kazorm, Lima, Nathan Welch Jr., Tomasz, Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, as we continue our casual tour of the corrupted countryside. Now, I did do some trading with Kyato, but of course we couldn't afford anything all that significant. I did swap out our brewing kits, though, so we can now brew level 4 potions. Of slightly more note, however, I also found out we can apparently do this. Attempting to infuse some gravitas into his demeanor, the young cleric politely greets you. Welcome to the Temple of Delamere the Blessed, Commander. Hey, Kyato, I changed my mind. I would like to check out that basement after all. Hope that's not going to be a problem for you. The cleric's resistance is hanging by a thread. His lips are trembling, and his voice drops to a whisper. I have the key, but what right do you have to... Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are technically a servant of Baphomet now, right? And you're in charge of this temple. By extension, couldn't you, ordain me as a servant of Baphomet and give me permission as well? I'm no expert, but I feel like that tracks. Kyato stares at you with horror and delight. But I'm not a true priest of Baphomet. But you're right, I technically am serving him, and his shrine is in my keeping. Do you think it would work? Then you could kill her the next time she comes, and the curse will be broken. Kyato's voice sounds both steely and frightened in equal measure. I don't know how this is done, but... Vex Godglove, do you trust in your lord Baphomet? Do you have faith in his protection? Do you invoke his patronage? Sure, don't see why not. Kyato shrinks away and warily glances around himself. But nothing happens. With a trembling hand, the cleric gives you the key. I'm not sure. I don't think it worked. Maybe we shouldn't test it? Please. Nah, I'm sure it's fine. You worry too much, Kyato. Trust me, these things just have a way of working out. Except for when they don't, but... You know we don't talk about that part. The bloody remains of a person lie out in plain view. There are marks on the bones left by gnawing teeth, some of them human. Well, that's lovely. Glory be to Baphomet, Lord of the Ivory Labyrinth, unbridled consort of Lamashtu, father of the Horned Brood. Connive, maul, rut, and build labyrinths of lies in his honor. This is the will of his chosen priestess, Zanedra. She seems nice. A diary found in a crypt. I suppose we should give that a gander. Might be relevant. Mira is 3 days old. What a happy day. I am strong enough to hold a quill again, and I can now write of my joy. My prayers have been answered at last. I prayed desperately for many years to the goddesses of beauty and fertility, but they only responded with silence. Mother Lamashtu alone answered my prayers. Finally, Mira was born. It was difficult for me to bear her for 9 months, but looking into her golden eyes and seeing her pretty smile, I realized that all the hardships were worth it, and all the terrible rituals I wish I could forget. It's such a pity that my husband didn't live to see this day. Mira is 6 months old. The wet nurse refused to feed her. She said the baby bit her breasts too hard and sucked out the blood. What nonsense! True, my little girl was born with teeth, but that doesn't make her a bloodsucker. She's my angel, and I'm sure the humps on her back will soon develop into little wings. Mira is 5 years old. Mira is 5, but I still breastfeed her. She just won't let go of me. I'm the only one who can bear her little teeth. The servants leave us, one after another. They say they're frightened by rustling in the night, and that girls discover bite marks and bruises on their arms and legs in the morning. The housekeeper was the last to leave. She said she woke up at night to the sound of scratching up above the ceiling beams. She swears she looked up and saw Mira crawling across the ceiling. She showed me claw marks on the wood, too. But of course I told her it was all ridiculous. My baby sleeps blissfully at night. But the silly woman packed her things nevertheless. Mira is 5.5. Mira loves me so much, it's impossible to pull her away from my breast. It worries me that she doesn't want to eat vegetables. The cook complains that the little girl sneaks into the kitchen and snatches pieces of raw meat right out of her hands. My poor girl, no one wants to be friends with her. That's why she plays such strange games. Mira is 6. The cook has vanished. She probably ran away in secret. Mira slept all day. Her little tummy is so bloated. I'm afraid she might have contracted an illness from the uncooked meat. Mira is 6 and 1 month. I found what was left of the cook in the compost pile. I don't know what kind of animal chewed off her breasts and ripped chunks of meat from her stomach. A wolf, perhaps? A rabid dog? Absent-minded, I didn't hear Mira come close. She laughed joyously, pointing her little finger at the rotting remains. A child's innocence. She didn't even realize what she was looking at. This may be the last thing I write in my life. My milk is not enough for Mira anymore. She wants more from me, and the wounds from her little teeth get deeper and deeper. Now I understand what happened to the cook. I am afraid. But I am her mother. I must be strong, and give my child everything I can. Mira is near. I can hear her crystal laughter. Great Mother Lamashtu, I beg you, care for her when I'm gone. She has no one but us. Wow, that's unsettling, but also entirely expected of any deal with Mother Lamashtu, the mother of monsters. Yeah, you don't really want to make deals with her, especially when kids are involved, because then this happens. I do wonder, though, if that story is just for flavor, or if we will actually encounter Mira at some point during our travels. We'll have to keep an eye out. That's honestly one of my favorite things about the Owlcat CRPGs, is figuring out how a lot of these seemingly inconsequential details fit into the bigger picture. Though, granted, not all of them do. Profane depiction of a bull's head, drawn in blood. I like it. Really classes up the joint. I couldn't live without the half-eaten corpses, though. That's just unsanitary. Actually, maybe I'm overthinking the diary. Maybe Zenedra is Mira. That would explain her taste for flesh. An antler of monstrous proportions, set in steel. The beast to which it belonged must have been as large as a house. Burial rites fulfill several functions. They mitigate the psychological strain of parting with the deceased. They neutralize a source of disease-causing miasmas, and they suppress the spread of cannibalistic and inappropriate acts in society at large. There are many ways of disposing of a corpse: burning, dissolution in harsh chemicals, ingestion by all members of the community. But by far the most popular method is burial. A grave protects the corpse against carrion eaters, serves as a place of remembrance, proclaims the merits of the deceased. And of especial importance, when all safety measures are taken, grave burial prevents the deceased from coming back and visiting their still living relatives. The commander examines the stone sarcophagus resting in the crypt of the Temple of Erastil. It was used as a feasting table for demons until very recently. Bones are scattered across the stone top of the sarcophagus. Some are easily identifiable as human finger bones. A human eyeball floats unappetizingly in a clay bowl, and next to it lies a half-gnawed rib cage. The commander decides that it is worth examining the sarcophagus. The sarcophagus is constructed from large stone slabs, crudely hewn but fitted together with skill. Each slab is so heavy that it is impossible to reach the contents of the sarcophagi. This was likely the intention of its creators. In some places, the stone is covered with intricate, curling lines of symbols. The commander decides to examine the symbols on the sarcophagus. At first, the symbols are unfamiliar to the commander, but his eyes soon land on a familiar combination of letters: Delamere. This is the name of the cleric Kyato mentioned in his conversation with the commander. This sarcophagus undoubtedly contains the body of a priestess of Erastil, Delamere the Blessed. It is unlikely that the young cleric could have read this inscription, written as it is in such an ancient tongue. However, the information Kyato provided is enough to help the commander unravel the mystery. On the lid of the sarcophagus, the symbols form a circle. The commander notices that the seemingly solid slab is actually composed of several pieces in this spot. The hairline joints between the fragments are almost impossible to see. In Sargeras, there existed a funeral tradition in which the priest would place magic seals such as this on tombs. The symbols on the seal are threatening. I guard the eternal sleep of Delamere. Cursed be any who dare to destroy me. The commander. I feel like there's nothing we can really do here that would desecrate this place more than it already has been. But let's still make a token effort to not trash this thing any more than we have to. We'll try a spell of unsealing, I guess. Ember, I don't suppose you know how to do that thing I just said? With the unsealing and whatnot? After several attempts, Ember manages to break through the spells placed on the sarcophagus. The symbols on the stone seal begin to glow. With a click, the seal crumbles into pieces, and the lid of the sarcophagus slides open. Inside the sarcophagus lie the remains of a female archer. The bones are held together by leather armor covered in the same symbols as those on the sarcophagus, and the skeleton's hands are clutching an impressive bow made from an antler. Surprisingly, there is no unpleasant smell coming from the remains. The commander... Right, and obviously this is one of the Lich's possible special companions. Though as a trickster, our options are slightly more limited. Alright, well, as we've been playing him, I think it's pretty obvious that Vex isn't terribly pious. He doesn't really concern himself much with higher authorities, gods included, though, I mean, at the same time, as a hunter, I suppose he'd have some token respect for Erastil. That said, in his mind, I feel like, the best way to honor Erastil, and, by extension, Delamere, would be to liberate these relics and put them to practical use, as opposed to enshrining them or leaving them here, where they can be further desecrated by worshippers of Baphomet. Yeah, I think that works. I've certainly had flimsier excuses for looting corpses. Suddenly, the commander feels a rush of fresh air out of place in this cellar. It carries the scent of rain, the sound of dense forest, the mighty roar of a mountain river. The commander's body is overflowing with power, and the bow seems to yearn to be in his hands, now suffused with an overabundance of strength. The strange sensation passes, leaving behind only pleasant freshness. Hey, look at that. Seems like Erastil, against all odds, actually agrees with us. Well, that is fantastic. Gotta say, Rasty, as far as deities go, you are okay in Vex's book. Okay, let's have a look at these things. Delamere's bow. A bow made from tightly curved antlers. Despite its age, the tips are as sharp as ever, and the bowstring produces a sonorous thrum like a disturbed beehive when plucked. A +2 holy composite longbow, which on hit has a chance to entangle foes. Wow. Well, that is pretty fantastic. Unfortunately, it looks like our arcane trickster ability did not bump the enhancement bonus, which I guess is fair. It is essentially a relic, I guess. I think we're already rocking a couple of +2 bows, but that holy modifier is pretty great. Not to mention the entangle thing. That fortitude save is high enough that it might actually be relevant for a while. I think we'll toss that right to a Rochelet. Yeah. Land's already rocking a +2, and he's just about done traveling with us anyway. And we also pulled Delamere's armor. A handsome breastplate. The delicate deer hide is soft and pleasant to the touch, but it is as tough as iron. Despite its years spent in a sarcophagus, it smells as fresh as spring leaves. +3 leather, which allows its wearer to cast spells from the plant's domain as if they were 2 levels higher. Interesting. Obviously, a fantastic item for like a dedicated druid, but I mean, we have no shortage of hunters or rangers in our current party. But we've really focused more on fauna than flora. Yeah, I'm not sure we'll get much use out of that, but still a nice find. Alright, I guess we should go check on Kyato. Kyato? Kyato! You didn't explode! Good for you! The young cleric greets you and, in a conspiratorial whisper, says, "Hello, Commander. Well, have you come for Zenedra's head? She hasn't been back here yet, but as soon as she shows up, I will try to hold her here as long as I can, and then you can swoop in and deal with the witch." Well, that is excellent. Man, I cannot believe how well this worked out for us. I've got to say, this is very gratifying. I've run through Act 3 with a couple of test campaigns. An Azada, and more recently an Aeon, and neither of them could save Kyato. So this is the first time I've ever actually managed to circumvent that curse. Hopefully it all works out. I would love to see the kid actually survive for once. It's also nice to finally see us doing some actual trickster stuff. I wonder what sort of ripple effects that might have on the rest of the campaign. Alright, let's hit the pause button real quick. I want to go grab a drink, and I need to check my notes again. We're pretty well committed to trying to track down Waljib at this point. We've been out here for like a week now. So, for everyone's sake, let me triple check to make sure we're looking in the right area. We'll be right back. And we're back. Yeah, it turns out we are more or less in the right area. We just have to keep walking back and forth between the temple and Wintersun until the right event triggers. And what the heck, if we're already headed back that way, we might as well hit that shrine too. Mix some actual adventuring into our metagaming. Oh, we also have demon armies incoming. That's earlier than I was anticipating. Oh, nice. We are already qualified for our first outpost expansion. I might have to expedite capturing a more distant outpost. Then we can build a teleporter there, help cut down on travel time. And I suppose we'll get this going as well. It's actually pretty cheap as far as relic projects go. And it will give us a nice weapon for So-So. Alright, back to the hunt. Where are you, Waljiff? Nope, that's not him. That's just a random encounter. I guess we'll kill them. Another Ganondorf.
Disappear.
And we're seeing a Nabasu. That's cute. Oh, 2 Nabasus. Nope, sorry, I must have miscounted. Just the one. It is kind of remarkable how much difference just a couple of levels can make. We were still having trouble with Nabasu in late Act 2. And now we can just steamroll them. Though to be fair, we are essentially a party full of glass cannons. Our whole shtick is basically killing these guys before they get a chance to really fight back. Nice. So what was that? 5 Nabasu and an Elfeshne? That's about 600 experience points? 500? Not too shabby for a couple minutes work. I was actually just revising some of my level up plans for when we hit 11. That's a big level for us. That's when Vex will be grabbing Improved Crit. With a Kukri, that's like a 30% chance to trigger a crit storm on every swing. The Shrine of Sacrilege. A stench of fresh blood and ancient evil emanates from the cave under the mountain. The path that leads there is splashed with blood of the many victims that have been dragged here. At night, one can hear a hoarse voice, offering blasphemous prayers to powers unknown. The very sound of the language the prayers are recited in is an insult to the skies. And you guys know the drill. Let's hit the pause button real quick whilst I toss up a full assortment of buffs. Good to go. Let's see what's so sacrilegious about this shrine. Oh. Plagued wolf. Well, that seemed somewhat underwhelming. Hi there. Yeah, see? This is the problem with being a lone wolf. Sounds cool, but wildly impractical. One more off to each side. This is kind of sad.
Yet another obstacle.
Oh, hey, Babao. We've got some real threats here. Relatively speaking.
Did we find trouble? No, they did.
I mean, obviously, we're probably a bit beyond Babao at this point. Though I suppose they could always start giving them class levels. Alright, we're done with the grave robbing. Let's start in on the demons.
Meditate on your mistakes. Might make you feel better.
Death to heretics! Glory to the great titans! He screamed, a split second before being riddled with arrows. And you know what? I think we'll just hang out back here, let them waste their actions getting to us. I suppose it couldn't hurt to soften them up a bit on approach. We've got spell slots to spare. Hey, not bad. Not great, but not bad either. We need to get Ember that pyro ring. And there's a belt I want to put together for her, too. Hey, what's up, guys? That guy forgot his spear.
Out of my sight!
And we're done. Finished with a crit storm, too. No kill like overkill, I suppose. Though, I suppose I shouldn't get too cocky just yet. We did see that cave on our way in. Yeah, this right here. I'm sure we've still got a much more serious threat waiting for us. Let's just make sure we're done out here first. Okay, I think we're good. Let's see what awaits us in this cavernous maw. Mighty Titans, hear your loyal servants. We invoke you. Rise and lay waste to all, gods and demon lords alike. Gormandizer, that is quite a name.
Retreat is not an option.
Okay, I got slightly careless there, but we seem relatively intact. And you know what? We'll just hang back and let them come to us again. I'm sure there's more traps we're not seeing. In fact, let's pull all the way back here. Ba-bow, ba-bow.
I will resist.
Kneel before me.
Nice, nice. Right. Careful there, Kaz. Oh. Voracious Glabrizu. So now things are getting slightly more serious. We fought one of those things back in Staunton's Keep. But that one was named, so this one's probably less dangerous. Oh, yeah, we're fine. We do have a Rod of Reach. I knew I equipped one, I just forgot to slot it. And it's still too far.
Prepare yourself.
Oh, what? Oh, he bled out. Wow. I have never seen that D6 bleeding damage actually make a difference. Oh, hey there. You know what this reminds me of is when you steamroll a Dungeon Master's encounter so hard, they just double up on the enemies to maintain the illusion of challenge. No, there were always 2 Glabrizu in this encounter. It's in my notes and everything. But no, I can't show you. It's proprietary DM knowledge. You suck. Bleh.
You are nothing before me.
Yeah, so far so good. Monster Hunter's Diary. Separated from the normal lore books. That means it's probably relevant? Let's give this thing a gander. Little remains of the hidebound journal. The cover is tattered and half the pages are missing. Blank pages at the back of the book survive, along with the final entries of the diary's unknown owner. After many days spent exploring the area and studying the traces left at the site of the desecrated shrines, I at last struck upon the Defiler's trail. My worst suspicions were confirmed. The cultist circle was led by a Demodand, a creature from the bowels of the abyss. The clergy whose temples had been vandalized in the attacks were perplexed. What was the link between them? What did the shrines of Iomedae, Gorum, and Torag have in common? The answer was very simple. Demodans hate all gods in equal measures, and strive to destroy each and every shrine they come across. Alas, Demodans do not always work alone. The one I was tracking had gathered a small coven around it. A gang of deranged and depraved. What else can you call folks who'd let themselves be convinced of the vile tenets spewed by those beasts? For reference, Demodans were created by titans who had been driven into the abyss by the gods. Demodans' sole purpose is to serve their creators. They are blind slaves and tools of destruction, lacking even the smallest spark of that majesty granted to the faithful when they have contact with their divine patrons. Whether it be Gorum or even the universally decried Rovagug, mortals who convert to this faith of lies must be exterminated along with their false prophets. That is why we, the Inquisitors of many deities, have banded together to hunt down such monsters in a joint effort. After covering a few dozen miles, I located the heretic's hidden lair, a dank cave deep in the forest. At sunrise tomorrow, I will make my way inside the cave to study the underground passages and sketch a map for our future raid. One should never underestimate Demodans and their minions. I have no intention of attacking alone, but I can at least scout out the site of our coming attack, rather than sitting on my hands while my comrades muster a contingent and make their way here. Iomedae, be with me. And given that we found this on a skeletonized corpse, I'm going to guess that didn't work out. But it's cool. We got this. So that is directly relevant to this specific location, just giving some backstory. And a bit of information about Demodans. I didn't realize they were so separate from normal demons. I just assumed they were a type of demon.
Careful now.
I guess I also didn't really realize that Titans were like a separate thing in Pathfinder. I don't think they've ever really come up before.
I finished here. Is there more?
Oh, skip the pleasantries.
Alright, let's punch our way through to Gormandizer. Labrizo. Nothing to worry about just yet.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Nah, I'm not. I'm not that desperate for damage. We're fine. Gormandizer. Oh, he doesn't look that bad. Okay, very, very resistant to damage. Noted. There we go. Holy, whoa. Oh my. Gormandizer got off some really nasty parting shots there. Almost took down Regil. Oh yeah, he dinged Vex too. I didn't even notice that. It's fine though. Gormandizer's down, so this is all just clean up. Silly Glabrizo. Mirror image just gives us more ankles to go after. Thank you, Ember.
You won't survive.
Well, that's just demo dandy.
Missed me already.
Blitz cut. A +4 shock short sword. That can bypass any type of damage reduction. Well, that's not bad at all. A bit on the plain side, but that might be a good fit for Waljiff. I think he's pretty close to picking a new weapon for weapon finesse. You know, I almost went for short swords with Vex, but in the end, I just could not resist the crit storm potential of the Kukri. Oh, new tiles, nice. Though I have no idea where we use these. Demon blood. Though we will have to track down the storyteller before we can actually do anything with that. I'm guessing this is the rest of that Monster Hunters contingent. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm going to say this is a pretty clear sign things did not work out in their favor. But it's cool. We still took care of it, and got a lot of nice loot in the process. Okay, folks. Good fight, good loot. Decent XP. I think we pulled almost 1,000 XP from the Gormandizer there. And we might actually get some use out of that Blitz cut short sword. No sign of Waljiv yet, but I'm sure we'll find him eventually. That said, we're pushing time, so I guess this is a good place to call it. We'll hit the pause button for now, but we will pick up here next time as we take one more stab at finding our errant, arcane scoundrel. He's got to be around here somewhere. But if we don't find him next time, we'll just head back to Dresden. There's just too much stuff piling up back there, so we'll see how it goes. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. And if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon. Links are in the description.
The former is more bloody and performed with pinkies out.